This guy is always trying to spoil a bad thing!
Oh, you guys are here too? Took the long way, huh?
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 coming onto the big screen this December, and it's bringing along some serious Hollywood firepower. Hang tight till the end, because we're going to spill the beans on how Sonic the Hedgehog 3's villain is following the same star-studded trend that made the first two movies so awesome. The filming for the third installment wrapped up in late March 2024, so fingers crossed everything stays on schedule for the December premiere. With the movie in post-production, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is zooming into cinemas on December 20th, 2024, barring any unexpected hiccups. This time around, we're switching gears from the earlier releases in February 2020 and April 2022. The success of those flicks proves that a Christmas release is the way to go. Live-action filming kicked off in late November 2023, following some animation work that started in September 2023. They wrapped everything up by late March 2024, so it looks like we're all set for an epic Sonic adventure. But hey, if you're itching for some Sonic action before the big premiere, check out the Knuckles spin-off series. It's already up and running on Paramount Plus. While the cameras have stopped rolling, we're still waiting on that juicy Sonic the Hedgehog 3 footage. At CinemaCon back in April 2024, lucky attendees got a sneak peek with a trailer featuring Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles duking it out against Shadow. Unfortunately, that teaser hasn't hit the internet just yet. But fear not, there's chatter in the air that the first trailer might drop around the release of Paramount's family flick If on May 17. The gang's mostly all here for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Ben Schwartz is revving up again as the voice of Sonic, with Colleen O'Shaughnessy likely returning as Tails, and Idris Elba back in action as Knuckles. As for the cast, now remember when Jim Carrey talked about hanging up his acting hat after Sonic 2? Well, good news. He had a change of heart, and Dr. Robotnik will be causing chaos once more with Carrey at the helm. The human side of things sees familiar faces too, with James Marsden and Tika Sumpter reprising their roles as Sonic's parents, Tom and Maddie Wachowski. Lee Majjoub is back as the long-suffering Agent Stone, and Adam Pawley returns as Deputy Sheriff Wade Whipple. And keep an eye out for Tom Butler as Commander Walters, signaling that Gunn might have a bigger role to play this time around, especially with Shadow's arrival. Speaking of which, the cherry on top is Keanu Reeves joining the crew as the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog. Looks like Sonic 3 is adding some fresh faces to the mix. Kristen Ritter, Sophia Pernas, Cristo Fernandez, James Wolk, and Jorma Taccone are all hopping on board, but their roles are still under wraps. Whether they're lending their voices or stepping into the human side of things remains a mystery. One standout newcomer is Alila Brown, set to portray Maria. Now, that name rings a bell for Sonic fans, doesn't it? In the games, Shadow's backstory intertwines with figures like Dr. Robotnik's grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, and his cousin Maria Robotnik. But in the movie realm, things might take a different turn. So what's the deal with Sonic the Hedgehog 3? Well, plot-wise, the details are still under wraps, but here's what we do know. It'll pick up from the tease at the end of the second movie, where Gunn was on the hunt for Robotnik but came up empty-handed. Agent Stone, sneaky as ever, seems to have lent a hand in his boss's escape. And let's not forget about Shadow the Hedgehog, making his grand entrance to stir up trouble for Sonic in the third installment. Director Jeff Fowler couldn't spill all the beans yet, but he did express his excitement about this new addition in an interview with comicbook.com. As for the cast's hopes and dreams for the movie, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, the voice of Tails, is crossing her fingers for more screen time for our favorite two-tailed fox. Jim Carrey, ever the imaginative soul, has some wild ideas for Robotnik's next move. Nanotechnology, anyone? While Ben Schwartz, the voice of Sonic, is keeping mum about specific plot points, he's promised that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will be an absolute superior to the last two. Now, let's discuss how the villain in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is following the same casting energy that made the first two movies so successful. The first two Sonic movies were huge hits, so Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was already on our radar. But with the news that Shadow will be voiced by none other than John Wick himself, the anticipation has shot through the roof. Reeves' star power is sure to add an extra layer of excitement to the threequel, and he's following in the footsteps of other A-list stars who've lent their voices to Sonic movie villains. It's been a winning formula so far, so why mess with success? Having Reeves take on the baddie role in Sonic 3 just keeps the momentum going strong. Keanu Reeves taking on the role of Shadow in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 keeps up the franchise's trend of casting surprisingly big-name actors as its villains. Jim Carrey's portrayal of Dr. Robotnik in the first movie definitely gave it a boost in attention. This trend continued with Idris Elba stepping into the shoes of Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, with Reeves joining the cast as Shadow in Sonic 3, it's the third time the producers have pulled off this casting trick, landing some of the world's biggest stars to play the antagonists in their movies. Carrey and Elba truly brought their A-game to their roles, lifting both their respective movies and the entire franchise to new heights. While the first two Sonic the Hedgehog films delivered as entertaining action comedies, it was the star power of these actors that stole the show. Audiences flocked to the theaters for the first movie because of the promise of Carrey in full mustache-twirling mode as Robotnik. Similarly, the second movie drew crowds with the delightful contrast of Elba's commanding presence as Knuckles, a character known for his brooding demeanor. In both cases, the villains delivered, and Reeves stepping into the role of Shadow keeps that winning streak alive. At first glance, it might seem a bit surprising that Keanu Reeves would take on the role of Shadow in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. However, upon closer inspection, he's actually the ideal fit for the character. Just like Idris Elba's portrayal of Knuckles, which succeeded by playing the character straight and letting the humor arise naturally from the contrast between his serious demeanor and his inherently silly nature as a video game character, Reeves can bring that same deadpan humor to the role of Shadow in Sonic 3. Reeves' casting as Shadow in Sonic 3 is a bit of a departure from his usual heroic roles. While he's dabbled in playing against type with characters like Donnie Barksdale in The Gift and Don John in Much Ado About Nothing, he's primarily known for his heroic or anti-heroic roles like Neo and Johnny Utah. This makes his portrayal of a villainous character like Shadow a novelty, a fresh twist that's sure to grab the attention of moviegoers who may not have been interested in a Sonic movie otherwise. Now, we all agree that Reeves, arguably one of the biggest stars in the industry, has seen a resurgence in his career thanks to the immensely popular John Wick series, making him more sought after than ever before. His willingness to take on the role of Shadow in Sonic 3 is a clear indication of the franchise's rising status. Despite the challenges posed by the COVID outbreak, the first Sonic film proved to be a financial success, and its sequel performed even better. The fact that the producers were able to secure Reeves for the third installment speaks volumes about the franchise's strength and popularity. If Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is attracting talent of Reeves' caliber, it's a testament to the franchise's considerable presence and appeal in the movie industry. That's it for today. What are your thoughts on Reeves joining the Sonic franchise as a villain? Are you excited to see him in action? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all things Sonic. Until next time, keep on running.